So I think I was getting about your shoes right about here. So we'll save this area here. So today I got a copperhead. My client's yard. And I'm here with Justin, the Bowie Snake Man. Now the Maryland Snake Man.
Maryland, my Maryland. Maybe Maryland, our Maryland.
Our Maryland.
Whatever.
Okay. So, look at him for a second. Yeah. He's not a baby, but he is fairly small. I found that the biggest one I've ever seen was about as long as my leg, or about as long as my tool here. They don't get more than like 3 or 4 feet long.
Or Dave, as we hear about and read about in the news online, if the snake is 3 to 4 feet long, it's huge.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Huge, like monstrous. Like
definitely, you know, you can add about double the length to that for anyone that's seeing these things. But this is another story altogether where fear and anxiety can really play a huge role on memory. It's been a proven thing. So when you say, oh my gosh, that fish was huge in your memory, it really was, but it's not to everyone else necessarily. So in fact, this little guy is probably about 2.5, 3 feet long. Probably closer to 2.5. Set that down.
there's the tail rattle.
Look at that flat line.
And this species in general is rather docile. I mean, they're venomous, you have to respect them. But they're rather docile. They're not going to, be flying through the grass at you to try to get you and so forth, nor will any snake really have that approach. And as far as venomous snakes go, they're pretty easy going. Nothing wants to be grabbed or stepped on, so that's when people often get bit by them, including a bite. But typically they're pretty docile, especially since they have such excellent coloration and camouflage. They blend in very well with leaf litter, with mulch, and so forth. So even though we're standing here looking at him, he just blends in so well with the mulch here, with the substrate on the ground.
See if we can get a little close up here. This is one of my favorite moves.
We call that snake vision.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that snake vision close up.
Here you can see those Hershey Kiss shapes on the side. Some people call them saddlebags if you're into horseback riding. So you can see that nice copper color on that head. You can see those vertical pupils. And it's kind of cool out here today, so she's not moving too fast. I do believe this is a female.
I wonder if she's gravid. Gravid meaning pregnant as far as reptiles go.
If she were, it would be very early because it's the beginning of breeding season. And these guys typically breed a little bit later. Oh, that head
See
flick.
the head twitch.
Now she's mad.
Now, if you're looking at her head, you'll notice how the sides are very wide. That's where her venom sacs are. And many non-venomous snakes, although this copperhead is venomous, many non-venomous snakes will actually flatten out their head. If you think about the eastern rat snake, or the various subspecies of water snake, or even the black racer So many non-venomous snakes in this area, the garter snake, they'll actually flatten out their head in order to appear to have venom sacs, although it's simply an imitation.
Yeah, you can really see that right here. That so-called triangle-shaped head. People tell me all the time that they saw a snake with a triangle-shaped head. Well, most snakes, like Justin said, can flatten it out and puff out their cheeks to appear venomous, but this is the true deal. You can see the bulges on either side of the head there, towards the back of the neck, and those are its venom glands. And the copperhead depends on that venom to help catch its prey and defend itself. And in this area we have the black rat snake that is immune to copperhead venom and gets much, much bigger than these little guys.
And the thing is, guys, that venomous snakes do not want to waste their venom on us. They don't want to waste their venom in a defensive way. Their venom is actually modified saliva. It has evolved to be toxic. And they prefer to use their venom for their prey. It takes a toll on their body to produce venom, and after they have used venom, it can take a few days in order to produce more. So they really like to preserve their venom and use it for their prey. They do not want to use their venom in a defensive way. There's the tongue flick. Copperheads have a pink tongue. Many other snakes, such as the eastern rat snake, have a black tongue. Garter snakes have a red tongue. The copperhead has a pink tongue.
Alright, Justin, do you want to try and pick her up and gently put her in the bucket?
Alrighty. Let's first look at one thing, Dave, if you want to zoom in on the tail.
Sure thing.
So her tail is actually somewhat covered right now. But if she were a juvenile, she would have a bright green tail. Copperheads and cottonmouths, which are actually cousins as far as snakes go, although cottonmouths are a lot more toxic. They're a lot more venomous as far as the danger of venom. We call them medically significant. So copperheads are not as toxic to people. But anyway, both of them...
I'd like to add just real quick, Justin, that in Maryland we do not have cottonmouths, or otherwise known as water moccasins. It's a common myth that they come up this far north, but they really do not. Go ahead.
Right, and Virginia is about as far north as they come. And for the youth, they have a bright, almost lime green tail, and they'll wiggle that in order to attract lizards, small amphibians, small birds, rodents, and so forth to their tail, and then whammo, they hit it with their fangs, envenomate it, and then they have their meal. So as they get older, such as this adult here, they lose that grenishness in their tail. Alrighty, so we're going to pick her up in about the midsection here, and I'm going to be gentle in order to protect her. Snakes have a very delicate vertebral column. They have a very delicate structure. They are not as robust as we might think that they are, and we need to be pretty gentle, firm but gentle. Alrighty, little lady.
Close it up a little bit more. I think you're pinching some materials that are back down. There we go. Come back down a little bit higher.
Let me not try to pick up that piece of wood with her.
Reposition. Yep.
So you'll notice I'm staying away from the business end, which is her head.
There you go. Squeeze a little bit harder. Let go a little bit and then squeeze harder. Drop that stuff. Alright. Let's try and put her down on the grass and then try that again.
On the grass behind me?
Just to the side.
Okay. And it goes without saying, but you never want to take your eyes off of our little friends here. Up, see that strike?
Mm-hmm.
So she felt threatened.
I'm not sure that one's closing properly. Okay, let's switch. There you go. There you go. Oh, look at that strike. Now loosen up on that grip a little bit. Put your other hand in. Tighten up just a little bit. There you go. So you don't want to squeeze too hard, and it's hard to kind of gauge how much you want to squeeze and how much you might be hurting them at the same time. So right now she's not squirming. She's not in super pain. So she's just going to kind of look at you. She's not trying to actively escape. That's good.
There's that tail rattle again.
Just a little bit. All right, you want to try and put her in the bucket?
Okay.
Let's put her in your bin. And so we've got a bin over here. I always like to pre-make my bin, so I've got something like that. Alright, we're going to drop her in, and immediately she's going to try and go either the opposite way or straight back out this way. Then, always come over and try our best to hold it in an area that we won't get our hands exposed. Slide it over. And latch while we're still pushing down.
We also want to make sure that no part of the snake, such as the tail or head or so forth, is between the pieces of plastic when you're latching.
Yes.
Because that would be very harmful to the poor little snake.
Mm-hmm. And then making removal of the snake even more difficult for us as well.
Precisely.
Okay, so now we have her contained in this nice nondescript container. Training session 1 done.